So in this clip, we're going to be learning about the SQL case statement. The case statement allows us to add logic to our code, so we can add in all of our if-then logic using the case statement. So let's get into it and walk through a couple of different examples. So I'm going to start out with this little query that I have here. So we have about 6 or 7 columns, and from here we're going to use this as an example to build out different case statements. So for this first case statement, we're simply just going to add another column, and we're going to say if the product category is in 1, then return yes, else no. So to do this, we're just going to type in case when, and now this is where we're going to put our condition. P.category equals 1, then yes, else no, and then you close it up. So this is where you put end, and then you could do as and actually create the name of that field. So we'll just say cat1 flag. Alright, so now if I run this, you'll now see that we have this cat1 flag. So it's simply just returning y if category is equal to 1. So now let's do another example where we want to check if it's maybe in multiple of these categories. So maybe if it's in 1, 2, or 3. So I'm going to copy this again, and we're going to look at a different example. So instead of saying equals 1, because if you're using the equal sign, you can only assign one value, what we'll then do is we're going to use the in operator. So we'll do in, open parentheses, and this is where you can list out your different values. So we'll do equals. We'll do 1, comma, 2, or 3. And then now what I have to do is just change this to a different description. So now this is going to be our flag for if it's either in 1, 2, or 3. So now if we run this, as you can see, anywhere that it's 1, 2, or 3, we'll have y over here, else n. And if we go back up to this top one here, where we had the equals one, you also have these different operators. So for example, we have equals, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or less than, equal, less than or equal to. So there's those different operators you can use. So one other example of the case statement is with multiple conditions. So I have another chunk of code where we're going to be doing a check. We're going to add another flag field, and we're going to be bucketing the quantity. So we'll say, if the quantity is less than 100, then it's a small order. If it's between 100 and 300, it's a medium order. If it's over 300, it's a big order. So let's paste in this chunk of code here, and we'll walk through this. So as you can see, we have our case statement, and we have our first condition. So when the quantity is less than 100, then small. And then this when is kind of like our else. So like an if then. So if quantity is less than 100, then with that value, else, this is our next condition. So then the quantity is less than or equal to 100. And then as you can see, you can put in multiple operators. So you can put in an and. You could also use like an or. It wouldn't really make sense in this example, but just bring that up for your attention. You can do multiple different, you can really do any logic you can think of. So anyways, that's our second condition. So our third condition, if the quantity is greater than or equal to 300, then large, and boom, as you can see, there you go. So if we look at the values down here, as you can see, quantity 60 is small, which we would expect. 373, that's a large. 250, that's a medium. One other quick tip. So let's say, for example, we wanted to run this query, but we only want to return all of the mediums and large. So what we can actually do is, instead of inserting this logic into our where statement, because you might have a lot more advanced stuff than just this, I'm going to show you kind of a way on how you can use those. So all we're going to do is we're just going to write another select from, and then we'll put an open parentheses. And now this is our data source that we're using. So what we do is we come down to the end of it, and we'll create this. We're just creating a name for this chunk, for this query results. So we'll just call this test. Really, it doesn't really matter what you call it. So then all we have to do is now we can put our where statement in. So now I can say where the order size in, and then from here we can do either medium or large. And we'll just put a star up there to select all the values, all the columns. And then as you can see, if we come over here, scroll over here, as you can see, we only have the large and medium results. So hopefully you learned something there. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.